in the country. North Carolina out in their white uniforms, Virginia Tech in the dark, alongside Brianna Pinto, who has scored a lot of big-time goals on this field. I feel like I've had the pleasure to call a lot of those goals, including now her goals for the North Carolina Courage. Bree, it's great to be with you for sure.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a wonderful day for soccer today, and just beautiful doubleheader.
See, they won the ACC all 3 years they were there, made it to 2 finals and a college cup. So 3 for 3 as it relates to college cups for Brianna Pinto during her time at North Carolina. Savvy King is on the ball over to Elgin. So, Ms. Pinto, I was able to call Savvy King in the ECNL U19 final out in San Diego against Michigan Hawks, where Olivia Thomas, who won't be able to go today, was the star forward for the Hawks. Savvy King did not let her breathe as she was all over her future teammate and would go on to win the championship. And then Savvy King was announced along with Maribel Flores as All-League ECNL. She's looking like a first-team All-ACC player already.
She's been absolutely electric, and she's actually logged the most minutes of all the Tar Heels thus far in the season. I just love the way that she closes down space. Her recovery runs are incredible, and her distribution out of the back has been exceptional.
Ranked number 9 in the class of 2023. She had decided quite some time ago that she wanted to go to North Carolina, despite being from California. And she has loved it. Having done that game at the ECNL final, then I also had her on one of the podcasts. By the way, speaking of podcasts, little promotion here. You can catch Brianna Pinto on today's United Soccer Coaches podcast. She follows Carlos Samuano, as we'll have the UNC men taking on Notre Dame, 7 o'clock on ACC Network Extra. I think you'll enjoy that after these games. A good listen to the story of Brianna Pinto and Pinto life.
Stuck with me for sure.
Macy Bell, so good to see her back there. Devastating injury, game number 1. And then, as you know, the very next game, her backup also went out here. And then Tori Hansen ended up having an All-ACC, All-American career because final season because those two were out. Tori Hansen now headed over to Australia. The Hokies keeping possession at the moment. De Guzman, a freshman from Manassas, Virginia. And there is Savvy King. She'll play it back to Emmy Allen, who's got a .57 goals against average, redshirt sophomore. She is also part of the North Carolina Courage Academy. That you see a lot of these players, Ms. Pinto, during your time with the pro team, North Carolina Courage.
There's certainly been a pipeline, and it's so nice to have some of them train with us during the summers. There's just so nice to have the NC Courage as local because it's a great platform for development.
Yeah, little known fact, when this field used to be called Fetzer Field, way back in 2000, the original Carolina Courage played right here. The flag is up offside. The first season back in the WSA days, as you see the offside play right there, the Carolina Courage played right here. And the broadcast team, I was lucky enough to be the play-by-play. My analyst was a guy named Anson Dorrance, who's done okay for himself, and Wendy Bauer Palladino, who called the 99 final that I think changed the dynamic forever for women's soccer. Meza, just an absolute joy to watch. And as I say that, she turns it over. And Virginia Tech trying to go the other way. Macy Bell with the initial tackle. And then Meza with the second tackle. The third tackle will be called a foul on North Carolina. Anson Dorrance, 22 titles in his first 44 years. They are going with the slogan 23 in 23. Reminding you, Ms. Pinto, it's 2023. He's looking for 23 titles. I think the number 23 holds a lot of weight in Chapel Hill, by the way. So that's what they're going with. You okay with that?
It's their Jordan year, and hopefully they will secure that next championship. I know we've been chasing it for years, and maybe this year they'll be lucky.
This one sent in. And not on frame. It'll come back to North Carolina. Chugger Adair, 13 seasons, leading the Virginia Tech Hokies, replacing Kelly Cagle, who is another familiar name to those that go back in history. She was named the top 50 best athletes for her play at Duke and had a great run at leading Virginia Tech before deciding to hang it up to raise her children. Chugger Adair was a big-time player for San Diego and San Diego State. Middle of the park, and a foul call this time against the Hokies. Nicole Green is the referee in the middle. Jude Carr has one line. Kevin Maurer has the other line. You cannot ask for better weather. As Brianna, you said you trained this morning, like 65 degrees. I mean, perfect, right?
Sunny, 65. There's a little bit of a breeze. You literally can't ask for anything better. And then they're playing on one of the most beautiful fields in the country.
Yeah, it took a little while to get here, which you were part of that as well. And I even mentioned it to Carlos Salmano on the podcast, as his team will be at 7 o'clock. I mean, both the men's team and women's team were vagabonds. They were playing everywhere. They were playing at Duke, at Wake Med, at Elon. And they were winning. It didn't matter. I mean, so it just kind of showed the resiliency of the athletes that represent North Carolina for both the women and the men.
We were just so fortunate to have Wake Med as our home field, especially while this stadium was being built. I came in my freshman year, and that was the place to go, so I didn't know any different. Although I did grow up watching teams play on Fetzer Field. But to carry on this legacy and be part of the first team that played on this field was special.
Oh, it's got to be such a beautiful facility. I was lucky enough, courtesy of Carlos and Grant, actually not Anson, to get a private tour a couple years ago, and it's just spectacular underneath. They'll play it up top. Tar Heels not afraid to go long distance and break down lines when they need to. I'm trying to look at it. I mean, at the moment, it's looking more like a 4-3-3 for Chugger. We thought they're going to stack them in twos. We'll keep an eye on that. Chugger prefers a diamond, but he just kind of felt like with all of the talent that North Carolina has loaded up in the middle of the park, that the diamond might create too much space. This one played over the top, perfectly timed. Allie Setnor has scored some world-class goals. She'll go far side and is picked up neatly there by Skinner. Setnor, 2 goals and 2 assists, redshirt sophomore, 10 goals and 2 assists a year ago, co-captain of that U.S. women's national team. She's one of several players that had to overcome an injury, got back out there and just returned to doing the great things that she'd done all along.
Player as well, just how well she does with her back to pressure, spins out of tight spaces, and then her ability to strike from distance is exceptional.
Carolina, number 2 in the country, 5-0-3. They, of course, always play the most ambitious schedule every year, and they have never not done that. Anson Dorrance even saying that they take time to kind of figure out who they think might have the best chance to win a national championship if it's not North Carolina, and he tries to put them on the schedule, and he tries to go there. So he goes to Penn State, right, to play a game. He goes to South Carolina. He goes to Alabama, who makes it to the College Cup, takes his team on the road. I think it's a great part of what North Carolina does.
I absolutely loved it in my time here because it prepares you for postseason when you play all these tough teams. But that's not to say that the ACC doesn't prepare you for those games, because every team in the ACC is talented.
The ball squared across. Yep, they prepared to play an NCAA tournament game every time. This one won't be on the frame as Skinner was keeping an eye on the near post. It was too deep on the far post, and it will come back to Virginia Tech. Just 10 minutes in, as you take a look at Colton. Colton, a junior out of Carlsbad, California, coming off a season a year ago where she had 1 goal and 6 assists, and a big-time freshman season with 7 goals, where she played a little bit higher. And you talked about that. You know, you look at how deep Meza's playing, Moxley, Colton, Setnor, they all could be playing the 10 or the 9 or the 7 or the 11, and they're playing deeper on this team that's loaded.
It just shows the skill set that they have across the board. Everybody's able to distribute. Everybody's fit. Everybody works together in the press defensively. And I think it works so well because there's a lot of interchange that allows Carolina to be successful in the attack.
Sam Meza. Back to Macy Bell. Savvy King over to Emerson Elgin. Emerson knows that she won't play the whole 90, and I think she's wired to give it everything she has during the time that she's in there. That's part of it, right? The subs know they have to do the same thing. The players that know they're coming out, they also have to do the same thing.
Anson calls it burning yourself out like a comet. So making sure you expend every bit of energy that you have so that you get the most out of each player, and then a new substitute comes in and they raise the level from there.
So great to be joined with Brianna Pinto here in Chapel Hill, Dorrance Field. Extra pass kept alive by North Carolina. They'll try to square it right down the middle as they're looking for Avery Patterson, who was making the run. Behind Patterson was Allie Sentnor. Throw in for the Tar Heels. Decent spin, but better defending there from Virginia Tech. Macy Bell, bottom of her foot, touches it over to Meza. Meza, so good with the ball at her feet, magical, even really deep on the field as well, no matter where she is. And one of the things that I love that you already said before we came on the air is you love the fact that Meza is a great defender as well.
She's like a gnat on the field, and trying to get by her, she always finds a way to poke a toe in and get that ball. But I think it's just the way she's so persistent defensively, and I think that's such a great quality in a midfielder because she's going to be able to play in any of the three positions, as a 6, as an 8, or a 10.
Bell and King. Now Elgin. Elgin does like to tuck inside. Nobody does it better than Emily Fox, another former Tar Heel who has made the left back position with the North Carolina Courage so unique, the way that she gets involved in the offense. One of the biggest joys I had, Brianna Pinto, I need to tell you is, hang on, sliding tackle there was a game on Paramount, so not a game on Ballet, so I wasn't calling. So I went as a fan, and I sat on those seats that are right on the field, right? And so you're right in front of Emily Fox, like making those runs, and the communication that the team has, it was remarkable to watch that.
As we said earlier, there's a whole lot of interchange, and I think Emily Fox is a special player because she played in an attacking role during club play, and she is able to penetrate off the dribble, and I think it exposes so many of her great qualities, not only defensively but on the attack.
It's the defense of North Carolina that wins it back. They lost it for a second. They have it back. Cleared off before it even got to Skinner, but it'll stay with North Carolina. North Carolina, one of the best teams you'll ever see at getting a ball back after they lose it. It's in the hands right now of Skinner, though, and she'll take her time. Carolina started the season on the road at Happy Valley, a 0-0 tie. They beat Cal back here at Dorrance Field and tied a really good Wisconsin team that has produced Rose Lavelle a couple years ago. They smoked Southern Cal, took care of Gardner-Webb. Good win against Arkansas, beat South Carolina 2-1, and tied West Hart and Alabama 1-1.
I think it's just
kick opportunity here. Victoria Hagen, big time talent. Drops it in deep over the head of Macy Bell. North Carolina will let it roll out of bounds. Hagen, her ability to serve a great ball actually reminds me of another former North Carolina Courage player, Evie Dahlkemper, who's so good at serving a long ball. This is trouble and almost too fancy back there. Good job by Virginia Tech to high press. Almost caused a costly turnover. Taking care of business there is Emmy Allen to clean it up, but it's a little sloppy right here.
You need to be better on top of the box because turnovers like these can lead to quality chances. And she got the strike off very quickly, but kudos to Emmy Allen and goal for the quick reaction to get low.
Sentnor with that tremendous pace, putting pressure on Skinner. Skinner has to quickly get rid of it. And Macy Bell, really good at heading with a purpose, and that is heading it to one of her teammates. This time it didn't happen. Virginia Tech goes the other way, one right back there by the Tar Heels. They'll push it wide. North Carolina cutting inside, Avery Patterson. Sentnor. The fall to Meza. Great to have Darlene back out there. She started the season a little bit banged up, just a sophomore from the state of Minnesota. Hanson's really, really high. He's emphatic about his entire team, a really deep team, but likes Darlene a lot.
Darlene is an exceptional player just in the way she can be so explosive on the dribble. Her separation creates a lot of opportunities, especially when she's on the end line and she's able to look for the drop pass back to the penalty spot where there's trailing runners.
The Hokies beat North Carolina last year. You can bet that was a party in Blacksburg, which is a great campus to visit if you've never been. Trying to do it again. I'm guessing, Miss Pinto, that Savvy King and some of these other superstar freshmen have heard quite a bit about the fact that they did fall to Virginia Tech last year.
I think it's a blemish on their overall record, but nobody's journey is going to be perfect, and I think for them it's making sure that they move forward on the right foot and making sure that they put together 90-minute performances where they have the opportunity to take their chances when they present themselves.
Samantha de Guzman called for the foul, and Nicole Green is going to stop the clock to set it up, and yep, she is going to give the yellow. Usually when they stop the clock to set it up, it does include a yellow, so a yellow card coming to Samantha de Guzman.
Emerson Elgin does such a good job driving in, and de Guzman commits the foul. This is a dangerous spot because Carolina is able to serve the ball into the box for a quality chance. One of Moxley's specialties is her service. She always puts it on a dime, and Macy Bell is one of their targets because she's so good in the air.
Yeah, set a new record in program history for her vertical leap. This after coming back from an ACL injury. I mean, just a spectacular athlete is Bell. Moxley weighted perfectly, but right to Skinner. Boy, I love the weight of that ball right there for Moxley, who, you're right, she had 8 assists last year.
Just a wonderful showing of just the way she can serve a ball with such great texture and positioning in the box, because it puts it in a dangerous spot where Aaliyah Skinner has to come out and claim it.
Skinner, bomb it long. I think it's fair to say, at least from what I can see so far, Skinner is as advertised. She looks like she's ready for another big-time game against a big-time opponent in the number 2 team in the country, North Carolina. Patterson looking for options. She'll bring it back to Macy Bell. Get away from Macy Bell. So we've seen Savvy King turn it over, and we've seen Macy Bell turn it over. They'll need to clean that up just a little bit as Virginia Tech on the ball is de Guzman, and Childers picked back up again by North Carolina. On the same page that time, Avery Patterson. Also getting the start up top, Tori Della Peruta, the sophomore, her sister, older sister, Talia Della Pruta. We'll see her. But Tori's also been playing really well.
Tori is great with her back to pressure in that 9 role. She has great size, and she's able to hold up the ball and distribute it to the people underneath her, specifically Sentnor, Colton, and even Patterson, who can make the slashing run inside.
No score, North Carolina and Virginia Tech. This one starting just past 3:30, and we'll have the ACC men taking on Coach Riley and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 7 o'clock right here on ACC Network Extra. Ms. Pinto will be kind enough to join me for that one too. And tomorrow she'll head down to Orlando and hopefully on Sunday do what she did in the semifinals of the Challenge Cup, and that is score the only goal to put the North Carolina Courage in the Challenge Cup final. They won that on Saturday, back-to-back Challenge Cups, as the North Carolina Courage starting to be like the North Carolina Tar Heels, and that is stacking trophies like books on a bookshelf.
It's truly special to get to compete for championships. The culture that we have here at the North Carolina Courage is a testament to the legacy that they've made here in the Triangle area.
Free kick opportunity for Chugger Adair's Hokies. Good ball right at the top of the 18. It gets through. Virginia Tech is in. Denied there by Macy Bell. And knocked out of bounds will be a corner kick. Corner kick, Virginia Tech. Not like we thought they would be, but especially after Skinner's performance in 21 that we showed you in the Open, the win last year in Blacksburg. To put it simply, Virginia Tech is not scared. They have the corner kick now. Sent high, lofted right at the 6. Loose, tough balls, and cleared out of there by North Carolina. Virginia Tech not making it easy. Going back in the middle of the park by the Tar Heels. And North Carolina will send it long over the top. Della Peruta trying to beat that last line. And now whistle for the foul, grabbing a little bit too much of the jersey is the sophomore from Cumming, Georgia. West Forsyth, played for UFA. She had 4 goals and 1 assist last year.
The Tar Heels can catch you in transition, and we see Tori make a great run in behind. But here she's offside just by a little. Excuse me, she gets the foul.
Yeah, little pull with the right hand, little pull with the left hand, then another little pull with the right hand, and called for the foul. As you see there, ranked number 10 in the class of 2022, as North Carolina routinely has the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Six shots. Check that out for Virginia Tech. 1 for North Carolina, but only 1 shot on goal. Patterson throws down and knocked out of bounds. That's Allie George, the junior out of Louisville, Kentucky, and Sacred Heart Academy. Sentnor. If Sentnor goes down, it's usually a reason for it, and it's usually a foul. She is so strong.
She's got such a strong build and a low center of gravity, and I think that's why she's so good when she's trying to turn a defender, because she can spin anyone on a dime and burst with speed to create that separation. This is a dangerous place to commit a foul.
Moxley again on the ball. We talked about 8 helpers a year ago, sitting on 1 assist this year. We're playing deeper. Spent 1 year at UNC Wilmington, Panther Creek High School. Play and play. Moxley back over to Sentnor. Sentnor can crank it. This one a little bit too high. Carolina to go with their 22 national championships. They have 21 in the NCAA, one before NCAA officially sanctioned D1 women's soccer. They have the same number, 22 ACC tournament titles. And they've appeared in 28 ACC tournament title games. Foul called against Tori Della Peruta, and come back to Virginia Tech. The Hokies, with those 6 shots to now 2 for North Carolina. Good turn back in. And that looks like another foul. Meza is a little bit late, and Virginia Tech will have a chance to really set something up dangerous here, Brianna.
Virginia Tech does a good job cutting off Sam Meza, but she comes in a little bit late and commits a foul right on top of the box. This is a good opportunity for the Hokies to get service in because they've got height that could be on the receiving end.
I really kind of feel like Virginia Tech is sniffing around here for a goal. They've been dangerous a couple times. We saw one where Savvy King lost it right at the top of the 18. They had to recover. We saw another one where Macy Bell just in time got her arms behind her back for another clearance inside and around the 6. And then we saw that last corner kick where it was pinging around like a pinball machine before North Carolina finally got it out of danger. Those are just 3 opportunities early doors here for the Hokies. They'll send it in, and not on frame. I think covered all the way anyway by Emmy Allen. I want to talk a little bit about Emmy Allen because Nathan Thackeray, the goalkeeper coach for the Tar Heels and for the North Carolina Courage, has said the biggest thing with her is she's become a, quote, pro off the field, right? And you talked about it on the podcast, knowing what to eat as we got subs coming in. We'll tell you about those again. Knowing to get their rest, knowing what to do extra to make it to the next level.
Emmy Allen is a special talent because she treats herself like a professional. She takes care of her body. She gets in extra lifts. She gets extra touches. And I think that's what sets her apart as a goalkeeper here at North Carolina.
See her numbers on the season, pretty impressive. She'll be the first to admit that the defense in front of her makes a big difference in keeping those numbers solid. Elgin, Virginia Tech, already going to their bench. Anna Weir, who we thought might start, has come in the game for Chugger Adair. Great ball squared to keep the attack going. Pushed back outside to Patterson. Patterson. Couple step overs. It's really good defense, quite frankly, by Ellie George. Got the shoulder around and took care of business against Patterson.
Patterson goes to her special step over because she creates that separation. It's the right-footed step over and then the burst of speed, but well done by Allie George to use her body to defend this Patterson on the dribble.
Evelyn Shores now in for Darlene, and Shores is a player. I actually did that Penn State game and then another game afterwards that Anson Dorrance admitted he was really excited to start talking about, and now she's getting more playing time. Another great freshman out of Atlanta. Sentinel can get it back to Della Peruta. And Shores again, a freshman. So Evelyn Shores out of Atlanta, Georgia, Westminster Schools. You actually played a little club soccer down in that area as well, so you know there's a lot of big-time players down there.
I got to train with Evelyn a little bit, and she's just such a great player because she is able to play in the midfield or on the forward line. She's really aggressive on the attack, can shoot well, distributes well.
Meanwhile, Virginia Tech, once again, as we give an update on Shores, is dangerous as they've earned a throw-in down near the corner flag. Got a pretty good throw-in with Allie George, and she'll take it.
On your right.
7 shots for the Hokies, just 3 for North Carolina.
Coming in!
Good rip there by Meza. Special talent, Sentmore. Fine Shores. That started with Meza's defensive work, and then Sentnor's speed with the ball at her feet in traffic, and then a pretty good ball across the field, angled to Shores. Meza chested down perfectly by Shores. Peruta. If you're the Hokies, you don't mind this. You don't mind them playing it backwards for a while. You'll give that a little bit.
What I've seen throughout this first half is the Hokies' low line of confrontation. It's just past the halfway line, and I think for Carolina, it makes the spaces in the midfield a little bit more compact, harder to break down. So for them, they have to pull the Hokies out and then create spaces and overloads in those flank areas.
That time, Brianna, Tori Della Peruta was hoping that Patterson was going to make a run toward her. You can see them communicating about it after the fact.
Getting on the same page is half the battle of connecting those passes in behind.
This first half is flying along as we just have 14 minutes remaining. Still no score with North Carolina and Virginia Tech. Avery Patterson. You know, another reason, to be fair, that we wanted to highlight her is she was coming off such a great year last year, 13 goals and 8 assists, yet even Anson Dorrance was upset with the fact that she wasn't on any of the Matt Kerman Trophy preseason watch lists and some of the other lists as well. He didn't like that and wanted to make it be known. And then along the way, he said, hey, by the way, Savvy King, whoever the new national team coach is, she's ready. And by the way, Sam Meza is also ready. Those were 3 points that he made emphatically, I felt, Brianna.
I feel like Avery Patterson is an unsung hero just because of the way she carries herself on the field, the way that she steps up in big moments, and just her versatility is a gift. And I think she's shown it every single year that she's been here at North Carolina. So to miss out on that recognition is a shame, because I think the world of her as a player.
Well, and she's going to do it by example. She's going to do it on the field. So by the end of the season, don't be surprised if she does win quite a few of those awards. And don't be surprised if that lady right there, Meza, wins quite a few. She was, by the way, on all of those lists, despite being out at the end of the season along with Macy Bell. North Carolina offside, which I think is another great Anson Dorrance quote. He basically said, if you would have told me that I would have no Sam Meza for the ACC tournament or the NCAA tournament and no Macy Bell, and I would be 16 seconds away from winning my 23rd national championship, I'd have never believed you, and yet that's what they did.
It shows the depth in the roster, and I think the way they tap into the reserve unit, it ensures that everybody's ready to play, no matter whether there are injuries throughout the season.
So a line shift getting ready to come in for the final 12 minutes and change, or the next opportunity for North Carolina, as it looks to be, I want to say 6 players. Yeah, 6 confirmed by our outstanding producer, Edward Badler. Forbes directing, great crew as always. Elgin picking it off, but it'll be too far, and Skinner's got it. Patterson. Meza. Not the best ball to Sentnor, but Sentnor makes a bad ball look good, and she'll get it back from Meza. Sentnor with the left foot, kind of mishit it, and it'll come back to Virginia Tech. All right, here we go. Get your North Carolina roster sheet out as they'll have subs. These players will run it out most likely the rest of the half, and in the second half you'll see a double rotation on the subs. And we got one sub for Tech as well. You see some of the players going out. Some of the players coming in for North Carolina include Bella Sember, who had been a starter earlier in the season. Another player that's coming in is Mia Oliaro, who has been impressive as well. She'll come into the game wearing number 22, a freshman from right here in Chapel Hill. Meanwhile, Taylor Bryan also snuck in for Virginia Tech. We've got 4 more subs to get to you for North Carolina, and we'll start doing that as Tessa Della Rose, the sophomore, coming in for Elgin as she normally does. Talia Della Peruta is into the game, wearing number 24. Shores, who came in before that line change of 6, has now moved over to the left side. That'll find Tessa Della Rose. And she'll get it back to Talia Della Peruta. Talia Della Peruta will switch it. Stolen away by Virginia Tech. And the Hokies trying to go the other way in transition. And just like that, Virginia Tech is into the 18, and no problem at all for Emmy Allen. She really needed to try to square that ball and hope that there could be some sort of rebound or a chance for her teammate to get to it, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a rushed attempt. I think on that last play, she could have continued to drive inside, and then when the trailing runners came, then squared it across the box.
I know Virginia Tech beat North Carolina last year, but I have to tell you, I was not expecting at this point in the game Virginia Tech to have 8 shots to just 3 for North Carolina. I don't think you were either, Ms. Pinto.
This is impressive from the Hokies. It shows that they're taking their opportunities to get in the attacking third and get some shots up because, again, the more you shoot, the more likely it is to score.
Talked about that Pinto life. Her dad played here at North Carolina. Her mom played softball at North Carolina. She had a brother that starred at Princeton, is now starring for the top team in the MLS, FC Cincinnati, and another brother that played at Elon and then Duke. I know that wasn't easy for the Pinto family, but he had a great year for John Kerr Jr. And now he's moving forward in the business side of the world, I understand.
He just got his MBA from Fuqua, and we're extremely proud of him. He wants to move in the business side of soccer, so we hope that happens because he's very knowledgeable about the game.
Tech dealing with a little bit of pressure. Savvy King out to Shores. Della Rose. Pressure closing in there by Anna Ware. Della Rose. Get it right back. Shores. Shores. Get out again by the Hokies, and tracking it down is Talia Della Peruta. Pressure that time from Virginia Tech. Forced a turnover for the moment, but won back by North Carolina as it's Oliaro. Never hurts when your first name is Mia and you're playing soccer for the North Carolina Tar Heels. And Brianna, just in case you didn't know, Mia Hamm played it.
What a special player. She's following in some big footsteps. Mia Oliaro has an incredible Carolina background. Her dad, Scott, works in the athletic training program, and he's just an incredible guy. Takes care of all of us, makes sure that we can do what we love.
That's awesome. Do you know if he, in fact, did name her after Mia Hamm? Do you know?
I am unsure, but
Okay.
I think for the sake of the broadcast, I think yes.
All right, that'll work. Well done. Well played. Shores. Ball pushed forward. December somehow keeps it in bounds. Really good feet. Great pass back to Shores. She'll square. One more touch. Can they get one more outside? Shot from distance and saved. As diving down is Skinner. Those were some great touches from the Tar Heels.
I really love the increase in the tempo. You could see the combination up the left side here from Shores to Sember. Brilliant move to evade pressure. And then she squares it across the box, and Shores gets it to Talia Della Peruta, and Mia Oliaro, here she is again with another great strike.
Savvy King. Talk about those ability of King and Bell with those purple scroll headers to find a teammate. She headed that one perfectly to Rubimbus, who also has been really good. Another superstar freshman from Warren, New Jersey. Rutgers prep. Got away from Mike O'Neill, the top man at Rutgers. Picked off by Virginia Tech. Skyers.
We're seeing a lot of Eden Skyers. She's been super aggressive in the way that she steps, and she's done well driving up the left side.
You nailed it. This player, Eden Skyers, has been phenomenal. She gets fouled. Transfer from Jacksonville, where a couple years ago, second team All ASUN. 4 minutes remaining, still looking at zeros. Carolina has cut the shot disparity in half. 8 for the Hokies, now 4 for North Carolina. Both teams with 2 shots on frame. Both goalkeepers have had to make 2 saves. This one will go right into the hands of Emmy Allen. Shores plays it back to Savvy King. The Hokies started their season with 2 3-0 wins, one at Butler, one against James Madison, a 0-0 tie against Erwin Van Bennekom, the former assistant to Robbie Church, who's now with Indiana. They lost to Georgetown, tied Old Dominion, tied Charlotte, and just coming off a tough loss against a very good Northwestern team. From Savvy King to help on the shield. .230 remaining. All right, Brianna Pinto, you have been in multiple halftime situations with Anson Dorrance and Damon Nahas and the crew. 0-0. Look at the shots. Virginia Tech's had more. I don't know if Anson cares about that or not, but knowing him the way you know him, what's going to be his message and Damon's message at halftime?
I think they're definitely going to say that the attackers should do a better job increasing the tempo in and around the box. I think there needs to be a little bit more sharp play in terms of their combination. And then when they do get the shot off, thinking thoughtfully about where they're placing it, because although they've taken 4 shots in the game, only 2 have been on frame.
Well said. Meanwhile, if you're Chugger Adair, you got the win last year. You got the tie with Skinner standing on her head. I think your message needs to be pretty positive, right, at halftime?
They've done well. I think they've been patient defensively. I think they've conserved a lot of energy, which is also important, especially in the game. For them, I think taking their opportunities in the box, they've had a lot of final third entries, and if they can find that final connection and get some quality chances and test MEL, and then they'll be in good shape heading into the second half.
In this final 70 seconds, I want to make sure that I recognize all of the subs that have played for North Carolina. Evelyn Shores, Lena Rabimbis, Bella Sember, Mia Oliaro, who talks about her, Talia Della Pruta. We did not mention Kate Fossey, and then also Tessa Della Rose. Meanwhile, for Chugger Adair, Anna Weir, Sophie Maltese, Taylor Bryan, and Kendall D'Amelio have been in the game. Seconds remaining here in a scoreless first half. There's two games, reminding you, as I will several times, that 7 o'clock on ACC Network Extra, it's Notre Dame men taking on Carlos Samwano and the North Carolina men. 10 seconds, chance for the Hokies to try to send one in to the 18. They can't do it as Weir runs into not one but two Tar Heel players. They'll play it over the top. North Carolina, not enough time to get off a shot, and with that, through 45, no score. Virginia Tech 0, North Carolina 0.
It's been a fairly even matchup. Both
world is. My first camp with U.S. Soccer was in '89 with Anson Dorrance, and a young Mia was there, Michelle Akers, April Heinrichs, Shannon Higgins, Lori Henry, ton of great Tar Heel greats. And then during my time as Major League Soccer, I would go to the Forum Club all of the time, where I would see but not know a guy named Hassan Pinto in LA, and here he is back home. Isn't it a small world?
It is a small world. The sports world can connect you with so many different people, and that's what I think the beautiful thing about it is. I'm just so grateful for all the people I've met, including you. We've been able to call my goals, and now we're here in the booth together.
Yeah, appreciate that, and your family. It's fun working with Hassan and Anson Dorrance on the Vision of a Champion podcast. If you haven't listened to that, you should, as Anson Dorrance wrote a great book, Vision of a Champion, based off of seeing Mia Hamm on an off day, bent over, drenched in sweat. Basically, the notion of a champion is somebody who does that when nobody's looking, asking for no credit at all. And then with that, every chapter had an amazing guest. I mean, I'm not kidding you. We had Tobin Heath, we had Mia Hamm, we had Crystal Dunn, we had Carly Lloyd, we had Roy Williams, we had Mac Brown. I mean, one better than the next. And nobody gets those people to open up better than Anson Dorrance, right? I mean,
I think that shows just the Carolina community and how they all support each other within the athletics program. Just so many coaches that Anson has learned from and then has mentored himself has been a really great thing here at the University of North Carolina.
That's well said, as North Carolina is offside.
I remember him telling us this story about watching one of Dean Smith's practice when he was a young coach here, Anson, and Dean had students who would take statistics of their practice, and that's how the competitive cauldron came to life here in the UNC Women's Soccer program.
Yep, they keep track of every single practice event that they do, and there is a system behind it. I think one of the fascinating things about it, he said basically if you are like in the top 8, you're going to start. If you're top 16, you're going to play. And then he said if you're in the top 3, you're going to play for the U.S. national team. I mean, that's how he says it, which is just such a great quote.
And I think there's no better motivation than that, because they have the track record of all of these Tar Heels who have gone on to represent their national teams. And 2 great examples of that in recent history are Alessia Russo and Lata Wubben-Moy, who are with England, Emily Fox, who's with the U.S., so it's so special to see just how this can be a platform for development for the rest of your career.
Crystal Dunn as well. Let me just tell you those numbers. 102 All-America selections, 19 National Players of the Year, 59 players with full U.S. Women's National Team caps, 55 players have made World Cup team rosters that played at Carolina, 33 have made Olympic team rosters, and that doesn't even begin to break down the U20 and U17s, where my esteemed analyst has represented the red, white, and blue multiple times. Dynastic program, North Carolina. And what they've done, particularly over the last several years with the incredible involvement of the ECNL and other great leagues, but particularly the ECNL, is they made all the other ACC teams that much better.
Most definitely. ECNL was a great platform. I loved playing my club days for that league. It's just the way they support their players, the quality of the tournaments, and then also the scouting network so that the players could get to college is a really great thing to have.
Macy Bell, really good ball. Wide open player for North Carolina. You can already see and feel some adjustments for the Tar Heels, trying to make it a little bit easier, breaking down lines. Twisting around with it was Centnor. Pressure by Virginia Tech to win it back. As Anson Dorrance often does, if he makes late changes, as this shot will come all the way across like he did there, he'll let quite a few of those players stay on to start the second half. And we do see that represented with a few of them. Even Patterson, who started the game, is back out there. Comes in hot. We talked about it off the top. ACC Offensive Player of the Week. Last 3 games, 3 goals on 6 shots, coming off a season where she had 13 goals and 8 assists. As North Carolina made it to yet another national championship game. A lot of people want to talk about the fact that they haven't won one since 2012. I like to talk about the fact that 3 of the last 5 years they've been right there knocking at the door to win it. That's hard. It is hard to get there.
It is a hard thing to do. Obviously the goal is to win the national championship and carry on the legacy that they've created here. But getting to the College Cup is an impressive feat, something that I'm very proud of my teams that I've been on here at the University of North Carolina.
There's Meza with the rip. And she drops it over neatly to Colton. Colton wants it back. Colton is going to get it back, and it'll go right to Skinner and come back to Virginia Tech. Skinner has seen her team score 10 goals on the season. Tar Heels come into this game having scored 18 goals. They've had 180 shots coming into this game, 59 on frame. As that one rolls out of bounds, we can tell you that Eddie Radwanski's Clemson team has scored again, but Florida State with an answer. Check that out. Top 8 matchup. Clemson 2, Florida State 1. It's also on ACC Network Extra. Throwing for the Tigers. Great work by Patterson to win it. She was hoping Tori Della Peruta could get to it first, but it'll come all the way back to Skinner. Meza stays with it. It wasn't the best pass to Meza, but she stays with it. Colton back across. Oh, and Meza was there, but had stopped her run. Trying to fight through it and hang on to it was Talia Della Peruta. Savvy King had the option of playing it back to her goalkeeper, Emmy Allen, but elected not to. Those are the 3 right there on that preseason player to watch. Meza, Bell, and this player right here, Savvy King. Trying to get it up top to Tori Della Peruta. She's got a little moxie, a little fight in her.
Both the Della Peruta sisters have that bite in them, that tenacity that they need to compete at this level. It's cool to see them on the field at the same time together.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Can you imagine being their parents?
Their family must be so proud. They even have a younger brother who plays soccer as well.
Something that Brianna Pinto can relate to better than anyone. I'm trying to think, did your mom play for Coach Papa, or
Yes,
she did?
she did.
She just finally,
Papa has been here a long time.
yeah, she finally stepped aside. Enjoy retirement. Savage King. Hokies picked the pocket of North Carolina. The numbers weren't terrible. I said it early in the simplest form I could, in that Virginia Tech's not scared, and I'm going to say it again. I mean, they are not scared at all.
They look very relaxed, and I think they're doing a good job once they do win it by connecting the first pass. And you see a little bit of transition in them where they're trying to get forward, be aggressive about it, and get forward in numbers so that they can ultimately combine.
Knocked out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for North Carolina in front of a bench that always has the players up, standing, ready, warming up. They know they're going to play a ton. They'll run in rotations multiple times in the second half. It's been a staple and part of the formula for success for North Carolina for such a long time. Like Anson Dorn says, I don't make the rules, but I'm going to follow them. And if I can play 25 players, I'm going to do it. Unapologetically.
Yeah, he does it. And the bench injects energy into the game. They cheer on their teammates. They heckle a little bit. They do everything that is needed to support the girls on the field. And then I think it even motivates them for their opportunity when they do step on the field, because they want to raise the level from what it is now.
Good look a moment ago at the bench. See Damon Nahas, who Anson Dorrance is quick to give a ton of credit to, as Anson's 72 years young now, just signed a contract for 5 more years. And when congratulated with that news, he said, well, first, I got to thank my other coaches. I got to thank Damon. I got to thank Nathan. I got to thank Alex. And he's got to thank Tom and Chris Ducar. I mean, he's got a machine behind this team.
Her staff is incredible. One of the unsung heroes on the staff is Tom. He does quite literally everything, keeps all the ducks in order, and he's just a great guy. He really takes care of the team, and we're so grateful for everything he does to support us.
As we said, North Carolina with a chance right here. Tori Della Pruta was waiting for it, loose in front, as they play it instead over to Moxley. And Moxley might want that one back. We'll look at it at some point, but Moxley was right there at the top of the 6.
Just mistimed the shot. Good service right outside the 6. Good timing of the run as well.
Clearance there, all the way back to Bell. Bell drops it. Combination pass back to Meza, not there. So now the Hokies will start the counter. Taylor Price, the sophomore from Ashburn, Virginia, and Briarwoods High School, gives it up. They'll push from behind. Cole Green, the referee, not buying it. It'll stay with North Carolina. Long ball, Tori Della Pruta, and not enough mustard. You're going to have to bring something special to get it by Aaliyah Skinner. Good effort, but nothing that's going to challenge Skinner.
Great ball from Moxley. Tori Della Pruta is off the back shoulder and tries to hit this first time, but just doesn't hit it well enough. I think if she hits it on the top half of the ball and really strikes through it, she'll get a better attempt at goal.
3 saves for Skinner, just 11 short of that career high she set here in 2021. Another key player that is out for North Carolina is Julia Dorsey. Who got hurt playing for the very talented women's lacrosse team. Coach leaving. North Carolina back in and around the 18. Shot from distance. Knocked away before it could even get close to the 6. Now here's Bell. Bell, side of her foot. Really good pass. Tori Della Peruta will pop it up in the air. Push from behind, and here comes a dangerous free kick. Oh, wow. Going really quickly that time, and too quickly. I don't know if I love that, but Sentnor was like, let's go, and that's what they did.
Such a quick turn of events. Right after Ellie Sentnor draws the foul, she puts the ball down really quickly and gets it to Tori Della Peruta, who gets the shot off. I think she might have been a little bit surprised here herself. But with an opportunity that close to goal, I'd be interested to see a proper setup so they could get an organized shot on goal.
Yeah, great job by our crew to take a look at it. It actually turned out to be where Della Peruta was kind of open, actually. So Sentnor with that big old soccer brain using it real quick. Chugger Adair, talk it over with his team. Player down will serve as a little bit of a hydration break here. On a day where you probably really don't need it. It's just perfect conditions. Virginia Tech is Victoria Haugen, the senior. Looks like she got her foot stepped on. That never feels good.
She does a good job of applying pressure here to keep Tori Della Peruta's back to goal. But fortunately gets her foot stepped on. I'm glad to see her back on her feet. These are always the plays that sting when you get your foot stepped on, but she walks it off and stays engaged in the play. I think I commend her for that, for going down after the play has finished.
Now, the spine of this team, including Victoria Haugen, is strong. When you take a look at it, Skinner, Haugen, de Guzman, a freshman with big-time talent, Natalie Mitchell, Taylor Price. Those are players that really stand out on this Virginia Tech team, and they're right down the middle for the Hokies. And part of the reason why this one is still at zeros. Last year, first year, they implemented the rule, no more overtime. Throw in for the Hokies. One back by North Carolina, but they'll bring it back. They played advantage for a moment. Foul on the Tar Heels.
Avery Patterson tries to control it here, but ends up catching foot a little bit late here. This is another opportunity for the Hokies to serve the box.
Ellie George making the most out of very slight contact from Patterson. Green will walk off the 10. And this is a good opportunity for the Hokies. Brianna Pinto has talked about the fact that Virginia Tech does have some height. And this is a good opportunity for them. Keep an eye on Gogol, Lauren Gogol, number 18. It goes over Gogol's head. It's still loose, and it'll fall right to Emmy Allen. Brianna Pinto, that play tells me North Carolina's got to be careful. They do not want to foul Virginia Tech too many times in that area where you can see Virginia Tech serves a nice weighted ball, and they've got some really tall, lanky players in the box.
In my experience in soccer, I've always been told that set pieces can win and lose games. So they have to make sure that they're diligent in their defending and make sure that they don't commit any silly fouls. And then on top of that, if they do commit the foul, staying with their assignments and winning the first ball is definitely key.
Virginia Tech with a sub coming in, Anna Weir, the freshman from Ackworth, Georgia. You are the queen of the segue because Notre Dame Fighting Irish men's soccer team, we're going to have that call at 7 o'clock. They're number 10 in the country for a reason. They have given up 0 set play goals. No free kicks, no corner kicks, 0 goals so far into the season. Notre Dame, who will indeed be a tough out for the North Carolina men. That's going to be a great game at 7 o'clock on ACC Network Extra. Sentnor had it for a moment. Pressure from Sentnor again. Virginia Tech can make another change as Taylor Bryan, the senior from Brooklyn, New York, is going to come into the game. She'll replace Taylor Price.
We're just about 17 minutes into the second half, and I'd really like to see more energy from both sides. I think the Hokies have done a good job in their defense, but we've seen a little bit of a drop-off in the transition that they showed earlier in the game.
Wisdom of Brianna Pinto. Meza sometimes can do it all by herself. She gave it up there to Talia Della Peruta, who was looking to find Moxley. And stumbling, rumbling, and bumbling there is Taylor Bryan, who'll come back to North Carolina. The Florida State Seminoles, I don't know how they do it. You can never count them out. They have tied up Clemson as they head into half. Florida State 2, Clemson 2. At one point, it was Clemson 2, Florida State 0. And now it's 2-2 at the half. Squared to Patterson. Nope, a little bit too late for Patterson. Good little drop for Virginia Tech. Hard tackle by Savvy King. They'll play advantage. They're going to bring it back. I'm a little bit surprised that they decided to bring it back because Virginia Tech was on and Virginia Tech was in, unless I missed a flag on the far side. We're going to have a yellow card, too, on King, I believe. What do you think, Brianna? I mean, it looked like advantage was on there for the Hokies, unless the flag was up, and that's why they brought it back.
I think they did the first play that happened, and here we had Savvy King come in aggressively and slide, almost studs up. So even though Taylor Bryan was a little bit offside, they did the first play that occurred in that sequence.
Well done. So King with the yellow card. card on Savvy King in minute 65. Another solid weighted ball. Finds the head of a Hokie, but it'll go right to Allen. So, Brianna, North Carolina, we know about Savvy King and Macy Bell in the back. We know about Allen. They have all this talent offensively, including Meza, these midfielders, the forwards, but they just, other than that one sequence where they had 6-7 passes in a row with about 5 minutes remaining in the first half, they've not combined enough and been dynamic enough offensively.
Yeah, I think that comes from just the movement off the ball. I think we've been a little bit stagnant at times for Tar Heels. And for them, if they can get the ball and change a point, like to the flanks, and then have some overloads on the flanks, they can expose players like Emily Moxley, Avery Patterson.
Bimbus drops that one off. Good little move for North Carolina. And that one's deflected. It'll be a corner kick. Corner kick, North Carolina, as once again, Sentnor slicing and dicing.
What a great pass here from Meza into Rabimbus, who does a great job turning under pressure. And a nifty bit of dribbling here from Ali Setnor, and I like the decision to hit it back to the near post because the momentum from Aaliyah Skinner was her moving to the back post. Right here, you can see her stepping to her left, and Setnor attempts to hit it back to the near post.
You nailed it. It's going in if it wasn't for the Hokie defender, because exactly what you said, Skinner was leaning the other way, and Sentnor knew it, but there was a Hokie defender to knock it away. Moxley with the corner. Driven in, near post, right in front. So close. Virginia Tech wanted a handball on North Carolina. Didn't look like a handball to me. Sent back across again. Good ball right in front. Skinner spills it, Shores, yes! And North Carolina has a 1-0 lead. Evelyn Shores.
What a wonderful shot from Evelyn Shores. Emily Moxley does a great job just to put it in the mixer. Aaliyah Skinner comes out bravely, tries to claim it, but bobbles it a little bit, and Evelyn Shores hits it first time through the legs of Skinner. Well done from the freshman.
Key sub. And Evelyn Shores has made it 1-0 North Carolina. North Carolina, with that shot, has now outshot Virginia Tech. And most importantly, they have taken the lead on the scoreboard 1-0. As Evelyn Shores, who had 2 goals against Southern Cal, scores her 3rd goal of the season. Did not see action in the first 2 games at Penn State or against Cal. Did log 29 minutes in that 0-0 tie against the Badgers. Earned her first career start against Arkansas, logging a career-high 63 minutes. So yet another player for North Carolina with a bright future. 67th minute, and the goal coming from Evelyn Shores. As you said, 5-hole, Aaliyah Skinner. Whistle called against Virginia Tech.
We often talk about big 5 moments, which are the 5 minutes after a major turning point in the game, and specifically a goal. You can already see just the energy that injected for the Tar Heels into the game. They're a little bit more energetic. They're moving a little bit more off the ball. And I think they're going to be chasing that second goal.
Excellent point. See if they can get it now. Sentnor making havoc right now. Just you talked about the power she has when she does have the ball. Like pretty much 99% of the time when she goes down, it is an earned foul. It's not a tick-tack foul.
Yeah, she's not the kind to do a game simulation where she's pushed over and looks to dive. She's a strong player. She's deceptive on the dribble, and I think she uses it to her advantage.
Good idea on the give and go. It'll be a quick throw in. As you see, Sentnor wearing that number 2-1, always moving. Meza.
Going back to the Big Five moments, it's interesting to see how the Hokies will respond.
Right now, North Carolina responding in a big way with exactly what you said, that momentum, a little extra energy with the 1-0 lead, courtesy of that player right there, Shores. She'll give it up. Meza from distance, and no problem for Skinner. North Carolina's last game, a 1-1 tie at number 12 against West Hart in Alabama. Virginia Tech's last game, a late goal for Michael Moynihan and the Northwestern Wildcats, now number 20 in the country, with a 3-2 win over Virginia Tech. I want to say hi to two of my favorite Hokies, Blaine Fink, who does incredible work for the ECNL, and Emily Gray, who I also work with. She loves her Hokies. I don't know if you were talking any trash at all with Emily Gray at practice today or not.
I spoke to her, and she's in attendance at this game. She even went out to dinner with the team, reconnected with her Hokie family. She just talks about the love that they have over their program, and she just had a wonderful career there and was doing great things in the NWSL as well.
And Colton earning that whistle as even Skyers coming in a little bit late. Yeah, I've had more fun than ever as I have called games this year with Emily Gray, Tess Bodie, and now Brianna Pinto. Like, I feel like a king. You know what I'm talking about?
You're making your rounds. NC Courage times Dean Linke. What a collaboration.
Good opportunity for North Carolina to add to their 1-0 lead. Throw in the fact that I also called a game recently with Kendall Fletcher, as that one is deflected off the crossbar. Kendall Fletcher, another former Tar Heel, spent a little bit of time with North Carolina Courage pre-Brianna. Let's take a look at this last opportunity.
Sam Meza does a good job to serve this again into the mixer. The Hokie defender, I believe that's Hagen, misclears it, and it goes off the crossbar.
Crossbar, the best friend to Skinner. Here's Shores. Deflected by Virginia Tech. They have 19 minutes and change to try to tie it. Meza plays it back to King. Whistle against Virginia Tech. That'll work with a 1-0 lead. Good to bounce around the ACC at halftime, and also good to take a look at some other players that Brianna Pinto has her eye on as Macy Bell plays this forward. Here's Meza. Tar Heels, I just asked for them to be more dynamic, and they have responded. They are creating a lot of opportunities right now. One's going to go out of bounds. It's 1-0 North Carolina. Let's take a look at how North Carolina got the goal.
Another great service from Emily Moxley. You see Rabimba's challenge for the ball to an upcoming Aaliyah Skinner, but it's Evelyn Shores who answers and puts it in the back of the net.
Great job by our crew to get another look at that one. Didn't miss a thing as Virginia Tech wins it back. Sliding tackle coming in. A little pass, and the Hokies trying to get the numbers right. Macy Bell on the shield. Man, she's so good like that, and then glides like a gazelle.
She uses her body so well to either see the ball out to earn a goal kick or to win possession. And she's so graceful in the way that she does it.
Carolina bringing the starter Emerson Elgin back in for Tessa Della Rose. I was talking about some of those players that you picked. I can tell you that UNC owns half of the ACC Weekly Awards so far this season. Freshman Savvy King was named the ACC Defensive Player of the Week on August 22nd after Week 1. Sam Meza was named the Defender of the Week August 29th. King earned it again September 5th. And then senior Avery Patterson was tabbed the ACC Offensive Player of the Week September 12th after Week 4.
What an incredible series of Tar Heel honors.
Captains this year for North Carolina: Macy Bell, Talia Della Peruta, Kai Hayes, and Avery Patterson. One back by North Carolina. Emily Colton. She'll bring it back to Meza. Meza. Good ball from Meza. Wow, tight quarters, but what a pass from Sam Meza, looking for Allie Sentnor.
An incredible ball. Sam Meza does a great job to drive on the dribble and then whip in a ball here to Allie Sentnor. She's going to want this one back because she can head it back to where it came from, to the near post, down and across the frame.
All right, so now it's time for Anson Dorrance to make some changes. Don't be surprised to see Sentnor right back in there, even though we're at 15 minutes and change.
With 15 minutes left in the game, I think the Hokies will start to push in their urgency. They're going to step out a little bit higher as their line of confrontation was around the halfway line in the first half. We're seeing them start pressing a little bit more now.
Yep, keep an eye out for that, Brianna. I'll remind everybody that last year, about this time, North Carolina was leading by this score, and the Hokies came back and won it. So we're not going anywhere. The pressure by Virginia Tech will earn them a throw-in. Tail of the tape coming in. Number 2, North Carolina 5-0-3. Virginia Tech 3-2-3. North Carolina 4-0-1 in their last 5 games. Virginia Tech 1-2-2. North Carolina 18 goals on the season, 10 for Virginia Tech. 180 shots coming in for North Carolina, 101 for the Hokies. Plenty of time. It's just 1-0. Shores, who got to it first, won back the second ball by Virginia Tech. Shores with the knockaway. Skyers that got to it first. One right back by North Carolina. Talia Della Peruta will give it up to Moxley. Shores felt that pressure, but Meza was there for a moment. That was really good pressure from Sophie Maltese off the bench for the Hokies. Number 15. Carolina, top of the 18. Deflected away by Virginia Tech. Good tackle. Savvy King will win it back. Pretty good first touch. Second touch. Takes a shot. And go out of bounds and come back to the Hokies. Savvy King is sitting on that yellow card. Normally, Savvy and Macy Bell go the distance. I will be interested to see. I guess at 1-0, Anson won't want to make a major change.
I think he trusts the professionalism from Savvy King to be smart in the way that she tackles, closing out the rest of this game.
Skinner, midfield. Second balls are starting to become so important now for Virginia Tech as they look for the equalizer. Savvy King's going to play it back to Allen. Back to Savvy King. Knocked out of bounds right in front of Chugger Adair. We'll give it back to North Carolina as we're approaching 11 minutes remaining. This one still just 1-0. Evelyn Shores, the freshman from Atlanta, the difference in the game. Third goal of the young career for Evelyn Shores. We talked about it already. I was here for your first goal as a member of the Tar Heels. Actually, wasn't here. It was over at the makeshift field.
Our practice field.
Yeah, the practice field. As I was calling that game from a table on the sideline, and you delivered a magical goal. Pretty sure I called your first goal as a member of the Courage after you spent the first year with Gotham as well.
That is correct.
And now you're still scoring them. That goal against Kansas City was huge. I think the last thing you guys wanted to do was go to penalty kicks, which you were minutes away from headed to penalty kicks.
That's what I had in the forefront of my mind. How can we figure out a way to get the go-ahead goal to avoid going to penalties?
Yeah, so many ties to the North Carolina Courage, even the original Carolina Courage. They won the championship in that second year, led by Marcia McDermott, one of the early Tar Heel players. Carla Overback scored the goal in the semifinals of that second year of the WSA, pregnant with Carson, who's now a volleyball player for the North Carolina Tar Heels. And they would go on to beat Mia Hamm in the WSA championship game. Tar Heels dancing with it. Inside the 18, dropped to Shores, got one, looking for the brace. That looked like a handball, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. It definitely did. But you see Evelyn Shores show up right outside the box on the top of the 18. She's always there waiting for the drop pass.
Savvy King. A little nutmeg as well. That's your center back, folks. That is your center back, freshman, Savvy King. Keeps North Carolina on the ball. North Carolina creating their own space. And Skinner stopping Patterson. Spilled, though. But they'll call a foul afterwards and come back to Virginia Tech. Good work by Patterson.
Great effort from Avery Patterson to drive inside. Similarly to the shot that Sitnor had, she drives across, causing Aaliyah Skinner to move towards her left side, but she does a good job reading the shot back to the near post.
Carolina will get it again. Another spin. Moxley gives it up. Squared back. Still alive for North Carolina. Della Peruta right at Skinner. Tori Della Peruta, the sophomore. Yeah, in the call with Anson, he did talk about not just creating chances, but, you know, of course, it's Captain Obvious, but finishing chances. And see North Carolina totally dominating here in the second half. Here's Meza. She'll cut you. Meza keeps the ball. Meza deflected away. It'll be a corner kick. Corner kick, North Carolina. Sam Meza, what a special, special talent.
Sam Meza is looking to get on the score sheet. She's incredible 1v1 on the dribble. She's got a wide skill set, and she's so explosive in the way that she separates. Gets a good shot off, but it gets deflected for a corner kick.
Meza on the Beck Herman Trophy watch list, preseason All ACC, United Soccer Coaches midfielder to watch. This is another Emily Moxley corner kick in front of a crowd that is growing larger by the minute. Don't forget, 7 o'clock, Brianna Pinto will join me for the call as the North Carolina men's soccer team will take on Chad Riley and number 10 Notre Dame right here on ACC Network Extra. Beautiful day for the beautiful game, and of course Tar Heel fans would love to get 2 dubs for the women, 1 for the men. Hokies not out of this though. It's only 1-0 with plenty of time.
I really enjoyed seeing the collaboration between the men's and women's Carolina soccer teams, because they were actually spent some time in the pit this past week to invite people to the doubleheader, and they tested the students on their soccer skills. So they'd roll a ball out and see whether the student body could juggle it or pass it back. It was a fun video to watch, and you can check it out on both teams' social media handles.
Yeah, I saw that. There's a couple decent touches to the point where Hansen might need to take a look down there at the pit on what he's got.
Might be some hidden talent.
Macy Bell sends that one just a little bit too long. Pinging around. I always have the best seat in the house thanks to the great people we work with. I want to thank Evan Badler and Thomas Mahler, Deja Garner, the AD, Nick Forms directing, Andrew Lewis, Amin Patel, Dylan Rolling Stone Field, Alexandra DeRose, Rita Lou, Mia Guthrie, cameras, Hunter Caparelli, Seth Tabor, Ryan Gibbons, Carson Withers, Kevin Tucker on audio, Tanner King, Caroline Yaffa, and here in our booth, Andrew Smith. I thank all those great people for bringing us the sights and sounds from this beautiful field, Dorrance Field, where North Carolina has a 1-0 lead. Alongside Brianna Pinto, I'm Dean Linke. Meza starting to open up here now. Great ball down to the feet here of Colton. Colton trying to stay with it. Looking for a corner. You can see the team saying no corner, but part of the game now, though, will be managing these final 4 minutes.
How about Eden Skyers showing up big once again? She's done a great job on that left side. Just in the way she's moved her feet, anticipated their touches, and closed to make the tackle.
Eden, a junior from London for Chugger Adair. Colton had Moxley. Now it does find Moxley as Sentnor gets it to her. This is Macy Bell. Moxley back to Meza. A little bit of death by possession here to try to close this one out. And as I say that, they turn it over for just a second. Savvy King takes a look. The Hokies a little bit too far, and that's going to hurt a little bit as North Carolina will work some more of this clock. And you can tell a little now that the kind of the weight of all the subs of North Carolina, you know what it's like. You start to see it right on their faces late in games, right?
It's demoralizing when a fresh group comes on and raises the level. But Virginia Tech has done a good job handling all the pressure that Carolina has sustained throughout this match.
Savvy King not done working. She did enough to earn the corner. She may have even earned a yellow card for the late tackle out of bounds. Yep, there will be a yellow card issued.
Savvy King does a good job protecting the ball here, but unfortunately for Victoria Haugen, she's...
Actually, I thought it was Haugen, my bad.
It's Avery Visage.
Good call.
But I think that shows just the want and the desire to get forward and try and change this game here in the last final minutes.
So I reminded you when we started that I watched Savvy King completely shut down another future star for the North Carolina Tar Heels in Olivia Thomas, the freshman from Grosse Pointe, Michigan for the Hawks, who is listed at 5'10", plays like she's 6'1", and Savvy King kind of marked her out of the game. But I wondered as I was watching it, she looked so tiny. I'm like, what is she going to look like at the next level? She looks fine. I mean, she looks like she can play wherever she wants and get the job done.
She has more than enough size, strength, and tactical smarts to take on whoever comes her way. I think she reads the game so well. She's athletic, and she is just so composed out there. Like, she looks wise beyond her years.
You know what's interesting is Ants and I talked early before that Penn State game to start the season. Talked a little bit about the size, and we're trying to figure out a player to compare her with. And it took us a while. In fact, it took a couple of weeks. And then all of a sudden, we remembered that a former Mac Herman Trophy winner named Crystal Dunn isn't exactly a giant, right? And yet she can play anywhere as well. I mean, Crystal Dunn's not big, but is a monster out there.
Well, I just think it's her tenacity and her competitive fire and obviously her athletic base that gives her a competitive edge, and I think she uses it to her advantage. Crystal Dunn is an incredible player. She's learned to play at so many different positions on the field and do it well. And I just think the growth that she had here at Carolina set her up for just an incredible career.
Clock is stopped at 1:14. Tar Heels chant. So they're going to try to work the corner here for the final 70 seconds or so. We'll come back to Virginia Tech. One back by Meza. Meza has worked her way back into perfect fitness. Start of the season, thought maybe she was going to have some time constraints, but they really never took her out, and she kind of just played her way into fitness. She already was great. I mean, even a 90% Meza is great, but the fact that she's now, I think, fully fit, look out.
And she's going to be able to be called upon all season long, and if she shows up the way she did today and just wins balls through the middle, distributes from there, and gets involved in the attack, she's going to have a great season.
Safety first for North Carolina. The Hokies, if they can get a quick throw in here and find some way to get it in and around the 6 to challenge Allen. Otherwise, it is good night, Irene, and I think it might be. Virginia Tech beat North Carolina last year. It will not be the same story this year. It'll be the number 2 Tar Heels with a big ACC win. Your final score, Brianna Pinto, North Carolina 1, Virginia Tech 0. Shores with the only goal in minute 67.
Evelyn Shores came on the field and made a difference.